Most people think the only reason they need a business plan is to go get a loan from a bank or maybe to apply for a grant. And while that may be true, a business plan is much more than that. A successful business, if you look at a successful business, there are certain characteristics you see that all successful businesses have in common. A sound business concept, a vision statement. They know who they are and where they want to go. They have a good understanding of the market. They have an understanding of the overall industry in which they're operating, their strategic position relative to others in the industry. They have a good production and operation plan, personnel, human resource management plan, financial plans, and even contingency plans. In case something goes wrong, they know what they'll change and how they'll measure and monitor whether or not those changes have been successful. All those characteristics that you would see in a successful business should be laid out in a good business plan. So for the business owner who's done all his or her homework on how they want to operate their business and how they'll market their product, the business plan takes all the homework and condenses it down to a very concise statement of who they are, where they want to go, and how they'll operate. Okay. Well, I say first and foremost, the business owner writes the business plan for himself or herself. After all the work that they've done to figure out how they want to operate their business, the business plan is where they say, out of all these options of how to do all these different things, these are the ways that I've chosen to operate. And so you lay that all out in your plan. And that way, it becomes your reminder, your little things to do list under the magnet on the refrigerator, or more appropriate these days, your task list on your smartphone of what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, and when you're going to do it. So first and foremost, I say the business plan should be written for the business owner. Now secondly, as we mentioned earlier, a lot of people think they write the business plan just to get a loan or to apply for a grant. So yes, you may have the business plan. It may be written so that a loan officer has a good understanding of what you want to do with this business when you're asking for a loan, or that you may have a better chance of obtaining a grant through a state or federal agency. Well, a marketing plan is a critical component of the business plan because the marketing plan is where you lay out how you're going to make revenue. The business plan is the overall operations of the business, but the marketing plan is how you're going to move that product and sell a product. It gets you beyond this concept of if you build it, they will come. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, build a better mousetrap and the world will be the path to your door. That's not true if the world doesn't know that you've built a better mousetrap and they have no idea where your door is located. So your marketing plan, you lay out your strategies of how you're going to promote this product, how someone will know what you have and where they can get it. It's also where you lay out the details of all the research you've done on the market itself. You can identify the market. You know exactly the characteristics of your customers, their sociodemic characteristics. You know what motivations they have for buying a specific product, how they react in the marketplace, what they expect from the products they purchase, and it also shows that you've done your homework on aspects such as brand loyalty. Will they buy your product today and a competitor's product tomorrow and never even think about the differences between the two, or do they become very connected with a brand? So you have to think about that when you're marketing the product. But it's also where you're going to lay out each of your marketing strategies for different marketing channels. Marketing online is completely different from marketing in a retail setting or at a farmer's market, or even the differences between a specialty food store and a supermarket. Your marketing strategies may differ, so your marketing plan lays out how you'll do all of that. Plus, the marketing plan also includes budgets. Every marketing step has a cost, and you have to view that cost as an investment in your business. And you have to think about what revenue you get back for that investment, your bang for the buck. So the marketing plan will also include how you're going to measure and monitor your marketing strategies to determine if you're really getting that bang for the buck or if you need to go back and make a change.
And how would that marketing plan fit into a business plan?
Well, overall, that business plan says, here's how I'm going to operate the business, right down to personnel management, a production plan for how you're going to manufacture the product and ensure consistency and quality. But that marketing plan is critical because that is your sales analysis. Its sole purpose is to focus on how you're going to generate revenue. And for any business and for any market in which you operate, you have these two simple factors, supply and demand. And if you can't show that there is a demand, then your supply of a good or service becomes completely irrelevant. There are several options for people that you may want to get to review a business plan. Now, obviously, someone that has some experience in the industry is probably your best choice. And that could be someone that you know that's currently operating in the food industry. It could be someone even from like a State Department of Commerce, maybe even State Department of Agriculture or Health Department, who has worked with enough small food businesses to know what things should be in that business plan, what things maybe should not be in the business plan. Ideally, you could even go to your land-grant university in your state, find someone working in the Cooperative Extension Service that is a state specialist in food science or the food industry. They could be a very good resource for you as well in terms of reviewing. What you do not want to do is have family members and friends review your plan just because they're the easiest people to find. Unless they have some sort of related business experience. You've got a family member whose background is in banking, they might be a very good reviewer. If you have a family member who's run a similar business before, they might be a good reviewer. But you could very easily go out and find someone from one of the many small business development centers that are affiliated with the Small Business Administration. They have specialists that could help you as well. The last thing you want to do is spend all this time deciding who you are, what you want to be, and where you want to go. And putting together all the work and the steps into developing this business plan and how you're going to operate as a business. And then just either leave it sitting on a shelf to collect dust or just leave it taking up space on the hard drive of your computer. You have to take all that homework that you've done, that concise statement that you've developed about how your business is going to operate, and put it into action. Okay, a marketing plan is a critical component of your overall business plan and your overall business strategy because it focuses on how you're going to generate revenue. How are people going to find out about your product? How are they going to know where to locate the product, where they can purchase the product, and how they can purchase the product? It gets beyond this concept of if you build it, they will come. Ralph Waldo Emerson was famous for saying, build a better mousetrap and the world will be a path to your door. Well, that's not true because the world has to know that you've built a better mousetrap and they have to know where your door is at, where it's located, before they can find that product. So selling a product is not always an easy task. And it doesn't matter how wonderful the food product may be, it's not easy to convince someone, especially in an online marketing channel, that you have a great product that they should try. So you have to develop that strategy to get them to first try the product and then come back and buy it again. Now, a lot of that may be related to getting a good understanding of your marketing environment. And a good marketing plan will have a good definition of the market. And that includes who is the market, who makes up the market, who is that target customer. And that means knowing the socio-demographic characteristics of your target market. It means knowing the psychographic nature of your target market. What triggers them to buy a product? What expectations do they have when they purchase that product? And do they exhibit any sense of brand loyalty? Or is your product just the same as product B and they may buy yours today and product B tomorrow? And if you're lucky, maybe they'll come back somewhere down the road and buy yours again. So you have to have a good understanding of that. And that marketing plan shows that you've done your homework in that area, that you've tried to determine who your market is, how big that market is, and how you're going to get your product into that marketplace. Now, that the old standby is the 4 P's of marketing: product, price, place, and promotion. In some cases, you may have to add a few more P's, and one of those could be people, because your marketing plan may include what you're going to do to have someone else market your product. Let's say you're using a food broker, and for a lot of specialty food products, food brokers are often used. They may be your marketing agents. They may be the people that help move your product into places where you never thought that you could as a business owner. They have certain strengths in marketing that you may not have. In the online marketing realm, the people may be the person who's managing your website, because that becomes very important. That is your key window of communication to the world. One of the challenges in developing a marketing plan is knowing ahead of time which marketing channels you want to use. Because my marketing strategy for what I'll do in a retail supermarket or a specialty food store will be very different from what I would do in a farmer's market, from what I would do if I'm selling in my own storefront. Definitely very different from what I would do if I was selling online. Because most of those other marketing channels, I'm marketing in a limited geographic region. And so there may be certain things I do, and there may be certain ways in which I'm known by the community in which I'm marketing my products. But once I go online, geography is not a limit anymore. Anyone can challenge my product in the marketplace because it's that nature of online marketing. I'm now opening my product to the world, but now all the competitors in the world are also open to my product as well. So that marketing plan becomes a very important part of your overall business plan, and it lays out exactly how you expect to generate revenue. That's also going to include ways which you monitor and evaluate your marketing strategies. Each marketing strategy is going to have an associated budget. If you're going to promote the product, it's going to cost money. So you have to have budgets for each marketing strategy, for each marketing channel. Then you have to come back and say, now here's how I'm going to measure the impacts of that marketing strategy and how well my dollars were spent. Here's how I'm going to monitor the growth in sales or the changes in sales volume that come with each strategy in each marketing channel. And then you go back and say, well, which ones gave me the biggest bang for the buck? And maybe you make some changes in your marketing strategy. But overall, the marketing plan is how you generate the revenue. The business plan is how you operate the entire business.